everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Unintangibles. I am Mo Aurora, and joining me as always is my co-host, Jeff Shuella. Hello, Jeff. How's it going?
I'm good. Happy Halloween to you.
Yeah, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody. Hope you had a good one, a safe one. I hope you got a lot or no kids, whatever you prefer. And if you're a trick-or-treater, I hope you had a good time or whatever, you know. So, Jeff, how are you feeling about week 9?
I'm excited. I'm excited for the second half of the season. I think a lot of these stories are going to obviously begin to unfold. And now that the trade deadline is behind us, as a Lions fan, I got to say, I guess I'm okay with getting a third-round pick back. But you want to talk about the trades?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's all I feel like the bye weeks all feel the same until they're over. But, like, I feel different about week 9 because of the trade deadline and because we saw some players moved. And let's get into it. You mentioned Golden Tate. Golden Tate going to the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's do in order. What does this mean for Golden Tate specifically? And then the rest of the Eagles, and then the rest of the Lions without him. So what does this mean for Golden Tate?
I think it's kind of a meh. I think he's kind of a lateral, if not. I'm not sure, man, because I think the Eagles like spreading the ball around. So
yeah.
I know he was getting like 8 or 9 targets in Detroit. I can't even guarantee he's going to get that many in Philly. How do you feel about that?
I agree, lateral move, probably. But even that's not terrible. So, like, he's still in the same mix that he always is, right? And, I don't know. Let's see. But, okay, I don't think there's any cause for concern. I don't think there's any chance that he ends up apart from, let's say, learning curve, getting to a new team. Luckily, the trade happened. Philadelphia's on a bye. So all it means is Golden Tate didn't get to play this week, although he would have, right? But I don't think he needs to worry about Aguilar. I think he's a replacement for Aguilar. And so I think he's going to get his targets at least. And if he's better than Aguilar, so if Aguilar did better with his targets, wouldn't he be okay? Well, Tate will do better with the same target share, but also if he's more productive, then he'll just get more. You know what I mean? Like, the offense stays on the field, like the whole, even if like it's the same percentage, him there instead of Aguilar means it won't be however many targets it is. It'll be that plus 1 or 2. You know, and it's and he's reliable, man. He stays on the field. Jeffrey is great when he's healthy, but he's often not. Ertz, same thing. There's they may have 2 or 3 competent, decent running backs and cobble together a running game, but the running game is not a threat. I think it's lateral plus for Tate.
If you're Zach Ertz fantasy owner, I can't be feeling great about it, to be honest. I feel like tiny dip in Ertz's value.
Maybe a little bit. Because I don't know, maybe not. Because I gotta feel like if Tate being in there instead of Aguilar makes that offense a little bit better, then even if like share and percentages are all the same, but like counting stats should go up a little bit, right? Just from increased productivity.
Yeah.
So, because like Aguilar gets targets next to Ertz, he just doesn't do as much with them as you want, right? But I don't know. I think it's good for Philly. I think it's good for all of them, actually. I think it's good.
Definitely.
Philadelphia's gonna be good again. They haven't been that great so far. I think they're back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious because look, they're making moves here because they need to compete with the Rams to get to the Super Bowl. So if there's one way you could beat the Rams right now, it looks like the Rams DBs aren't the best because Talib is out, Peters is injured. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's good to load up on your wide receiver weapons. I think if Philly is going to take themselves seriously, I have a feeling that this Adams kid might emerge in the backfield. He seems to be the bigger back of the 3.
Maybe, yeah. I think, at the very least, he's the guy who can run the ball specifically the best out of the other guys. They're all talented, multi-dimensional. They're all versatile. They can run and catch, except that they can't run. You know what I mean? All these guys. Adams can at least run the ball, and I think again, in the second half of the season, that becomes a little bit more. I think running gets better because again, these lines get better at blocking over the course of the season. The ones that will amount to being good, can take all season to get there, but it happens. And maybe. If Philadelphia you think of as having a good line, right? If the line starts playing really well and all he's doing is running for 4 yards a carry, great, right?
And the defense should be good. I mean, it should be good. So I have 2 fantasy questions for you then.
Yeah. All right.
Josh Adams or Elijah McGuire rest of season?
Well, that's a bit of a crapshoot. I'd probably still say McGuire.
Okay.
Because I think Adams' role might be limited by the fact that at least 2 other guys there can catch passes, and that's a big part of what you want from a running back. And it's one thing to say, okay, Adams is on a better team than McGuire is, but like McGuire could be good. Like we don't know McGuire. You know what I mean? I feel like you're not necessarily. I mean, if you're really desperate, if you need a running back to start this week and you can pick up Adams, do it, right? But like if you're thinking I'm trying to find an RB2 for the rest of the season in this like in like the bargain pile, like I'd probably pick McGuire.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, Eagles are off this week. So the second part of this question is that I have the option of adding not McGuire, but Adams tonight in Fab. I'm a little thin at running back. A, would you add him? And B, how much would you spend on Adams? He could be the goal line guy for Philly. He's definitely the thumper of the 3.
Again, I think I am in favor of getting Adams if you need him right now. And if you need a running back right now, then you kind of need to get him. You know what I mean? I would say, how are you on Fab budget?
If I told you I had 600 left.
Out of 1,200, was it?
600 out of 1,000. So I spent
1,000. Okay.
Spend $100 on Adams.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I might even go more, but yeah, 100 for sure.
Interesting. Okay, so you're saying he does have upside, but
haven't guys been going for a lot in Fab though in your league?
Yeah, they have.
That's why I'm like, I don't think 100. That's why I didn't think 100 would be enough.
I'm still a Fab rookie. Honestly, I'm still not sure. Yeah. I see like these bids are like so crazy.
Honestly, I think at this point, like, how many? You can't assume that this is the last guy you'll ever need, but how many more guys like this do you think there are left? I would say if you want to leave room for 2 more chances at this exact type of guy to pick up, maybe spend 200. If you want to leave yourself 1 more chance to find a guy like this, maybe you spend 300.
Yeah. I mean, you did make a good point last episode. You were saying that, yes, there's still time. And I was kind of complaining that the waiver wire was kind of weak this year. Mm-hmm. There's still a few weeks left, and you still have your Malcolm Browns, you have your John Kellys, you have your Justin Jacksons, all these backups that could emerge, the Rod Smiths.
Spencer Ware.
Yeah, exactly. Spencer Ware is a guy I would definitely want to handcuff. But at the same time, are there guys who are not the handcuffs the Josh Adams is? Like, I just don't see any of these guys really popping right now. I mean, it usually happens by this time.
Well, I think I think at this point it's situation, because the guys that would have emerged by now were probably getting some reps even since the start of the year, and you don't really have anyone like that. Like, so, well, we'll talk about him. We'll talk about one of the guys, Ty Montgomery, who also got traded. We'll talk about him, but he might have been the last guy who was like still kind of getting sprinkled in some action to see if he maybe had a chance to emerge. Like, he was sort of like the last one, right? Like, and now he's been shipped off to Baltimore. What does this mean? Okay. First of all, we got to speed this up quickly. What does this mean for everyone in Baltimore? I don't think it changes much. Do you?
No, I don't think so.
So as a guy who owns Collins in one league, I'm both not worried about Montgomery as a threat, but also not at all secure in Collins, if that makes sense. But beyond that, I don't care. More importantly, what does this do to Green Bay's backfield? I know that's what everyone wants to know.
I will say I listened to a podcast today, the On the Couch podcast with Sigmund Bloom, and he had on Warren Sharp. He did say that, and he's an analytics guru, Baltimore has maybe the number one run schedule for the rest of the way. So if you are an Alex Collins owner, you should feel good about that, at least in terms of strength of the schedule.
Okay, so then I should just not be worried about Montgomery, but still be like still ride with like, okay, who do I play this week? Do I play Collins or do I play Isaiah Crowell?
So the Jets are playing whom again?
The Jets are at Miami.
Okay.
And let me see. Baltimore is versus Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think I'd play Collins.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think that's what I was leaning, but like you understand why I'd hesitate, right?
It definitely both. It's kind of a crapshoot too. I mean, that could really go either way.
Because I do feel like with Crowell, I mean, Chicago's a tough opponent, and it kind of feels like Crowell's due, and that's not very good. That's not a very good reason to start a guy, except when Alex Collins has been like not quite convincing enough to make me not entertain that thought, you know? But you're making me feel better. And I feel like Pittsburgh, Baltimore is going to be a slugfest. I think you're not going to get a better effort out of everybody in that game, you know? So like if Collins like can have a big game and maybe like get some momentum and some confidence and like whatever, this is a game for that to happen, you know? This is as close to having a switch you can turn on.
Yeah. And honestly, I think, Dixon looks like he's done for the year again. Unfortunately, he can never stay on the field. But I think Baltimore just wanted that insurance because they consider themselves a playoff team too, and they want to get that RB depth. So
yeah, and Montgomery is kind of a backup to both Collins and Buck Allen, Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, yeah, you need depth. You can never have enough running backs, right? But more importantly, well, maybe you can't have enough running backs because everyone feels like Green Bay had one too many. Does this clear things up in Green Bay? Is the way now paved for Aaron Jones?
It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be. I think we all saw that Ram-Packer game, and we all loved what we saw out of Aaron Jones. He looked so explosive. He kind of reminded me of Philip Lindsay, man. He just kind of tore through the lines. He had explosion. He had that straight line power.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, I wonder if maybe Aaron Rodgers' knee is feeling better, so all of a sudden nobody's talking about him needing blocking as much. And if you're Mike McCarthy, as little credit as I give him, it is always possible that the owner of the team is saying, I don't care how good this Jones kid is. Jamal Williams is a good blocker, and Aaron Rodgers is the most important thing about any of this, right? So, like, if that pressure is lessened and, like, the results speak for themselves, right? Like, they need to win a game, and they need to put the ball in the hands of somebody they trust and they think can get it done. And it's like, Williams is kind of meh. He's not bad, but he's not good. He's just a guy who's there to take what's available. Montgomery really let him down in a big way. And it's like, yeah, I think McCarthy's just run out of reasons not to just like give Jones a chance to really shine.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Jones makes Jamal Williams look like the pace car, his nickname for this podcast. So
that's brilliant, man. That's really good.
Jamal Williams is the pace car. So I think Jones will be heavily featured on Sunday night against the Patriots. I mean, why the hell wouldn't he?
Right. Yeah, there you go. You're playing the Patriots. You pull out all the stops, right? Like, you got to do it. And that's not a game that you expect to have to manage the clock. That's a game that you expect to have to score more points, right? So
just to wrap up the other end of the Golden Tate deal, what's your opinion? I mean, is Kenny Golladay now? I mean, it's open season for Kenny Golladay. I mean, are you much significantly higher on Golladay?
I think yes and no. I think that like target share improves, obviously, right? So like whatever he's been doing, you figure he's going to do a little bit more of that at the same rate. I don't know if this obviously the organization has a lot of confidence in Golladay. but like, I don't know if this necessarily makes him a superstar. I think the way is pay. Yeah, maybe, man. Maybe if you have Golladay, you start him and you wait for him to. Like, I hope he does, because everybody who has Golladay is going to start him, right?
At the beginning of the year, everyone was drafting him as a wide receiver 3 or 4. I think he's clearly a wide receiver 2 right now.
Oh yeah. He's ranked 17 on Fantasy Pros. He's like a high end 2.
Yeah. Next year he could be a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
Depending on how things pan out. Look, I'm a Lions fan, so I'm a little biased, but I really like watching Kenny G, man. I think he has this power, this size, strength combo. He's got speed. I think he's a special player, man.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he could be, and he's pretty good, man. He's pretty good.
He's got the name to boot.
Yeah, Kenny G specifically, or do you like Golladay? I like Kenny. Kenny's a good name. I like Kenny.
Great name.
Yeah. One more big trade. Demaryius Thomas getting traded to the Houston Texans, probably to presumably to fill the role vacated by the since injured Will Fuller. Again, get well soon, Will Fuller. Want to see you on the field again next year. Demaryius Thomas now, though, this is interesting. Not only is it interesting because, hey, is Demaryius Thomas, does he still have anything left in the tank? Can he do well in Houston? Is Houston the kind of team that can bring in a guy like him and get the best out of him? But also, Houston is in Denver this week. So if you're Demaryius Thomas, I'm going to guess, but this is more or less Demaryius Thomas is like this and next week. He found out he got traded. He just grabbed the duffel bag and went to Houston, tried to get integrated as much as possible. He's going to come back with the Houston Texans to Denver, play the game, and then spend Houston's bye week moving all his stuff out of Denver.
Definitely staying in the hotel with his teammates on Saturday night. So he's not staying at his own home.
That's really weird, right? But that's probably good for him though, because it's like obviously be a part of the team, but also like make it feel like a road game. It's going to be weird walking into the stadium again, playing for a different team. But the fact that your first game playing for a different team is at least in your old home stadium, that's like the best way to get started. You know what I mean? He's adapted to the mountain air. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he might be a star in that game. Actually, I mean, he's obviously giving the Texans as much intel as he can.
Yeah, and I'll also say I don't think the Texans are quite on the New England Patriots level as far as like playing 4D chess and having a grand plan. I think they're just like, we have a chance to be really good, but we have to be really good every week. So like we need somebody to fill Will Fuller's shoes. And it's like, it's hard for wide receivers to switch teams mid-season. But if for a guy like Demaryius Thomas, is it that hard for him to go to Houston and they say, hey, what were your 3 favorite plays that you like to run in Denver? And he shows them and they say, okay, well, if we run it this way, would you like that? And he'd be like, yeah, sure, let's try it. Fine. You know what I mean? It's like
better quarterback. He's got a better quarterback right now.
Yeah. So argument against him is Chris Harris makes this point all the time, and he's not wrong, but like Demaryius Thomas doesn't play with a lot of heart. He doesn't play as well as, let's say, his body would enable him to. And like a lot of that is just wanting the ball and like just all hustle and grit and all that, whatever, right? But like it's just tenacity, right? He doesn't have a lot of it. He's been at his best in Denver when Peyton Manning was his quarterback, when he was sharing the field with Eric Decker and Julius Thomas, and like, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of guys. But then as that team sort of steadily got a little bit less stacked with talent and he became the talented guy on that team, doesn't quite have the heart to carry a team like that. And it turns out Emmanuel Sanders does have the kind of heart to play better and bigger than he is, right? And it's like, but in Houston, Thomas doesn't have to be that guy. He can just be one of many good players. DeAndre Hopkins has a lot of heart. You know what I mean? Like, Hopkins can be that guy. He is that guy. He's a better that guy than Demaryius Thomas ever was. But like Demaryius Thomas can still fly down the field, I think, And And I think it's like Will Fuller, to his credit, showed a little bit more diversity in his game this year than just being a deep threat. But like that was kind of quickly negated by the presence of Kuti, right? Like Fuller kind of went back to being primarily a deep threat pretty quickly. And now with Thomas, same thing, man. Kuti's there. He's gonna be able to play his PPR game. Like Thomas only needs 4 targets and he can have 2 catches and like a touchdown.
Yeah, first of all, I do like how you pronounce Kuti. You put a little euro on.
I keep mixing it up. The only thing I'm trying to do is I don't think it's cutie. It's not
cutie. I don't think he wants to be
O-U. It's C-O-U, you know?
Yeah. I like the Kuti. I like Kuti.
You know what? That's the advantage because we speak French. So we understand this, right? C-U would be Q. C-O-U is Coo. But I don't like cootie, like he's got the cooties. So I'm working with cootie. Yeah. We'll see. We'll figure it out.
You gotta blame his parents for the whole Kiki Cootie. It's still too many K's. But
yeah, too many K sounds. Well, the thing about it, it's like that Tina Fey line, right? Like K, it's like that sound. It's a funny sound.
Yeah.
A lot of jokes just feature that sound prominently, and it gets a laugh. And so the fact that he has that name, it's like I'm sure the name has significance and reasoning for why his parents gave it to him, right? Like obviously, but like
it's got to be connected.
You and we can't help but be like Kiki Cootie, like it's fun. It's fun. I love it.
It's some owners will acquire Kiki Cootie just so they can have him on their team and say his name.
So okay, here's a question. So this week that we talked about that hectic schedule and pace and this and that, but Demaryius Thomas, let's say he plays. I think he's playing, right?
Yeah.
Right now he's ranked. He's fallen in the ranks. I think this is more reflective of his week rather than just his production, but he's wide receiver 42 this week, right?
Wow, so, I'm surprised to hear that 42.
Well, here's what I think is going on is because, Demaryius Thomas was a guy, he was drafted, right? But there's a lot of good receivers. So chances are he's been on benches for the last little while, right? But now it's the bye week, right? So you might need him even if you normally will have a better option. But this week, somebody is going to have to start him because they have him and they might not have somebody else normally, right? He's in a range right now where some notable names, some of these guys, same ballpark as 2 LA Chargers, 2 Williams brothers, Terrell Williams and Mike Williams are both in that range, and 2 Packers wide receivers, Randall Cobb and Geronimo Allison. Demaryius Thomas is in that range. Who would you start?
Yeah, I'd start Thomas under everyone except for Cobb. So I'd have the Williams boys and Allison over Demaryius. Although this is a revenge game immediately.
It is, right? Yeah. Or it's at least like a conflicted feelings. It's a thank you to the fans of Denver. It's like it's going to be very emotional. Like,
okay, fair enough, Mo. Like they will be looking at him when they're in the red zone, no doubt. I'm sure he's definitely influencing the Vegas line, which is 1 point right now. I believe Denver is favored by a point. So just the fact that he's on a new team, but he has all this intel about his former team. Sure, he's definitely going to be the marked man of this game. But
so here's a question then for you. Here's a question. So I said he's ranked. He's number 42. Also, 43, you have Mohamed Sanu. Any interest in him, or would you start Thomas?
No, I'd start Thomas.
Okay, sure. 44 then. Kiki Kuti. So basically, Thomas. If you happen to have both, Thomas or Kuti?
No, I think Thomas, but I think Kuti will be helped by this acquisition more so than if Fuller. I know Fuller and Watson have chemistry, but you got to pay attention to Demaryius Thomas now a little more so almost. So I think that will eventually help out Kuti, but Thomas this week, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, I think all those factors. I think the thin hair. I think all that stuff. The emotional part, the intel, the fact that what he does well is a pretty seamless thing to just sort of throw in there and give it a shot. Yeah,
he's not walking out of there with a goose egg. There's no way.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting, man. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out right away. And I think I'll say this is future Week 10 talk, but if Demaryius Thomas has a big week, sell high.
Yeah, sell him after he scores this touchdown on Sunday for sure. All right. He could end up with a stat line of like 2 for 38 and a touchdown. That's what I see, honestly.
Yeah. Or 2 for 88 and a touchdown.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, Watson's got an arm, right? Watson's got an arm.
He does, but does Thomas have legs? I don't know.
I wonder if Thomas has the legs to outrun Houston's blocking.
He's Will Fuller's pace car.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think left to just run like deep plays and bubble screens and stuff. I think this could be a nice little role for him. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's a breath of fresh air for Thomas, who spent so many years in Denver, and he was carrying a lot of really bad quarterbacks from Tim Tebow all the way through,
Quarterback situation it just got bad quickly. Like, not only did it go from Peyton Manning to bad, Peyton Manning went bad. And then everybody else, bad. And it's like,
no, I'm happy for Thomas. It's good to he'll get a good quarterback. Hopefully it'll help motivate him and give him half a heart.
Yeah, hopefully. And Hopkins can supply the rest for him. So, all right. So I think how do we want to do this? Do we got to wrap this up? And
we could wrap it up. Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. So all right, guys. So we're going to come back with some more Week 9 talk. But for now, thank you very much for watching The Unintended. We'll be back very soon. I hope to see you then. Hope you enjoyed the show. Talk to you soon.